Welcome back everyone. So far we have covered almost all the features needed for a web application. We learned how to export CSV in the last tutorial. Now in this tutorial we will look at exporting PDF. So let's get started. Our initial plan is to have another button called Export as PDF next to the Export as CSV button. And clicking on that button will download a PDF file of this client list. So that's our goal for now. So let's go back to the code editor. So we will use a Python library called ReportLab to export PDF files. This package library is one of the most widely used libraries for exporting PDF files. To install this package library, type pip install ReportLab and hit enter. Okay. Our library has been installed in our development environment. Now we need to import the Canvas library which is included in the ReportLab package library. I will import this library on the line below the CSV library. However, you can write it on any line you want. So, type from reportlab.pdfgen then import Canvas. Okay. We have imported the required package library. Now let's get back to our main task. Although importing the package library is also part of the main task. Anyway, now we need to write the function to generate the PDF. Before that, let's maintain some comments. I am writing a comment for the function that I defined in the last tutorial to export the CSV file. And similarly, I will maintain comments for generating the PDF file as well. So let's define a function called export_PDF. And as usual, we pass the request parameters inside the parentheses. Now, just like I declared the response object for the CSV export, I will declare the response object here as well. Here we just need to change the content type. So let's change the content type to application/PDF. Just like I used content disposition for CSV export, I will use it here too, where I will just change the file name to client.pdf. Content disposition has been discussed in the previous tutorial. Now, we will declare an object named PDF data for the canvas that we imported from the ReportLab library. As usual, I'm maintaining some comments here. So, declare the object named PDF_data. And to set the canvas, write canvas.canvas. Note that after the dot, canvas will be written with a capital C. Then, inside the parentheses, we will pass response and page size equals letter as parameters. Okay, now we need to import the letter library. This letter library is also included in the ReportLab package library. So let's import the letter library. So, to import, write from reportlab.lib.pagesize. Then import letter. I hope the letter library issue has been resolved now. Yes, now you see it's solved. Now let's define the width and height of our letter. So just type width, height equals letter. This is going to be a little confusing for you, right? Don't worry, I'm explaining it. Actually in ReportLab, the dimensions of a default letter size page are defined as 612 points by 792 points. Hope you understand now. Now, we are setting the font and font size of the data that will be printed in the PDF file. Here, I am setting the font style here to Helvetica Bold and setting the font size to 12. Now, we need to add the client data headers to the PDF file. So, let's write the headers. Setting the position of the headers here may seem complex, but I'll explain it simply. Here, the value 50 consider as the x-coordinate, that means horizontal position, and height -100 as the y-coordinate means vertical position. So the writing in the PDF will start from the point we get from these x and y axes. Here our first header text is full name, that will start writing from this point. I copied it 3 times because we need 3 columns. Here the second line is for email. And third one is for phone. Now, let's set the x-coordinate position for the email field to 200. And for the field phone we set 300. This means that this text will start at 300 points of horizontal position. Now let's represent the client data in a table format according to the defined headers. First, let's set the font style and size of the data. In this case I am using the font style Helvetica and setting the font size to 10. Now we will print the client data, but we need to set the y-coordinate or vertical position for the data, which means we need to set the data to start printing from a specific position in the PDF file. So let's declare a variable called y and set its position to height -100. I have already explained about this height. Now let's query all the client data. As you may remember, in the last tutorial, we looped through the client data and set the data for each client row by row, and here we are setting the data for each client in the same way. For the convenience of our work, let's copy these headers and paste it inside the for loop. In Python, it is very important to maintain alignment properly. We shouldn't have any font setting issues here, right? Let's remove this line. Here, there is no problem in maintaining the horizontal position statically, but the vertical position, which means the y-coordinate, has to be maintained dynamically. Because after each loop, another client's data will be written to the PDF file, which will basically be placed dynamically as the vertical position. That is why we have declared y as a variable above the loop, and while writing the PDF data inside the loop, we are setting the value of y variable, which means the value for vertical position. Now, since we will be showing each client's name, email, and phone number in each row, let's set the values of each client's name, email, and phone from the client data in each loop. Okay, we are done setting the values for the client's name, email, and phone number. Now, we are resetting the y value because it will reset the vertical position for the next row to show the data for the next client. I am maintaining comments here so that later you can look at this code and understand why this logic is implemented here. Now, we have to do one important thing, that is, if there is a lot of client data, we may have to add pages to the PDF file, right? So, now we're actually going to check the vertical position. Now, let's implement an if condition and check y less than 50. Here 50 is the vertical position point. So, to summarize, it looks like this. If y is less than 50, a new page is added with pdfdata.showPage. And y is reset to height -50. You can adjust the coordinates and content according to your needs. Okay, now, we will call the save method to save our PDF data. Now finally we will return the response object. So, type return response. That's it. Now let's go to the URLs file and define a path. I will use copy-paste again to facilitate my work. This copy-paste feature is really useful. Anyway, I have copied the path of export CSV here and will replace it with the export PDF function defined in the views file. Okay, now let's go to the home page. Let's copy the code for the export CSV button and paste it on the next line. Now let's name the button export as PDF. And let's give the URL action export_PDF, which we defined in the URLs file. Okay, our work is almost finished. Save the files and let's run the server. Okay, our server is up and running. Now reload the browser and see out new button. Let's do a test. Oops, what happened? Here we see this problem in our query set. Let's check the code in our views file. And let's see what I did wrong. Oh no. Look what I did here. This kind of mistake should not have happened at all. Here you see I am fetching data with client_data. But notice that I am looping with client. So, here you have to write client to fetch data. Now I hope the problem is solved. Let's see again. Let's go to the home page first. Now click the Export as PDF button. Yes, our desired PDF file has been exported. Now let's open the file and see if all our client data is showing or not. Yes, all our client data is showing. But there is a problem. Here you see, our top row data is merged with the header text. This should not be happening at all. I think there is a problem with our vertical position. Let's check. Note here that I have set the same value for both the value position of y for writing client data and the value position of y for printing headers. Let's set the client data to 120 instead of 100. And check again. Now reload the browser and click the button again. Let's open this newly exported PDF file and check. Great. Problem solved. Nice. Now the data is showing properly. Great. We have also completed the PDF export feature for our application. So, we have covered all the basic things that need to be considered to develop a web application, such as user registration, user authentication, CRUD operations, and data export. Now, we have a small but very important task to do, which is very necessary during deployment. So, let's go back to the code editor and complete the task. So, while developing this project, we have installed various Python libraries in our development environment, right? So, we need to do something that when deploying to the production server, all those Python libraries are easily installed on that server. So let's generate a requirements.txt file. To generate this, first go to the main project directory, then type pip freeze. Then put the greater than sign, then type requirements.txt. Notice here that there is no file called requirements.txt in our project directory. Now, hit enter to generate requirements.txt file. Look, the requirements.txt file has been generated in our project directory. And here is a list of all the Python libraries used in this project. The necessity of this requirements.txt file and its use will be shown to you in the next tutorial. In the next tutorial, I will Dockerize this project. And I will show the use of the requirements.txt file while deploying the project in Docker. Actually, the Python libraries used in the project can be installed very easily on any server through the requirements.txt file. Okay. I pushed all updates to GitHub. The GitHub link is already shared with you. So that's it for today. Stay connected with me because more real-life project tutorials on machine learning, AI, deep learning, data analysis, and data engineering are coming very soon. Thank you for now, see you in our next tutorial.